Hey, hey everybody. Here we are on Wednesday. Tracy Allen, living in my truth with the one and only
Councilman Fred Green.
Hey, I've been waiting for this. I am so excited, just to have Fred on the couch, because this couch been bringing a lot of love, boy. I'm telling you, it's a lot of good, authentic people, real people, and we're going to talk a little bit about whatever, Of course, we're going to get in on the drug, alcohol, recovery, all this in the city, whatever. You know what I mean? I don't ask anybody what they going to say. Mm-hmm. When you're invited on this couch, you already know what this is all about. So we're going to go where we go.
That's right.
Keep it all real. I know a lot of you been waiting. I can't see when I'm on there, Fred. I'm going to let you. I can't see with the glasses or without the freaking glasses. Oh, look, it worked for me. Uh-oh. See, I do this every time, too. It's on. It's on, but I'm here, y'all. I'm here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Tracy Allen, Living in My Truth, the couch. Again, I'm going to say, yes, God is on here, too.
Oh, hey, what's up, yes, God?
Kiana, I tell you, you're going to get a lot of people will be checking you out. Hey, kid, yes, God, what's up, all y'all? Yeah, let's give some stars up for my brother, Fred. Yes, indeed. Let's give him up. Give it up. Yes. Hey, Teresa, she's one of my first guests. This girl been on here faithfully. You hear me? Mm-hmm. Faithfully.
Awesome.
So y'all know, when I have Living in My Truth award show, you'll be rewarded. You're going to receive a reward.
Oh, thank you.
For anyone and everyone that comes sits on this couch, that's what it's for.
Oh, thank you.
So I'll let you know everything. You know what I mean? It's a dinner, everything. It'll be held at Dreams.
Okay.
Yeah, like it was last year. I really wish y'all could. It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was so beautiful. And I awarded 26 people.
Wow.
This is my first time. If I put an event together, I'm gonna make it work.
Oh yeah.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
Y'all there, everybody know you're gonna do that. We was shitty, we was sharp, everything. It was beautiful, But this year, it's put together just a little better.
Awesome.
Than the last year. So every year gotta be better. Yeah. So you're definitely an honoree.
Oh, thank you.
And you let your people know, let the families know, and everything. Get them get the table. Y'all need to get a whole table because there's a lot of y'all.
Yeah.
And you see, I just don't know what I just did. Technology is not for us, y'all. I'm telling you, this thing is not for me. But I know everybody's going to be popping on here, and as you come along, I do want to say, if you guys want to send stars, please do that. That helps me with my content, and if you want to send me a donation, I will add on the Cash App that I have for that, and I would very much appreciate that. It helps me to do these Living in My Truths. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And make them beautiful because I'm a nonprofit and I do this out of love and out of my pocket. So, anybody that wants to donate anything, there's my Cash App. And I'm looking for sponsors because I'm asking sponsors for donations, and I'm gonna have them presented at the LMNT Award, on poster, and also I'm going to add you on a billboard that I'm doing, for all the sponsors that help with Living in My Truth. You know what I mean? So you will have that opportunity if you want to take your friends and families up to the billboard and see y'all flashing up there. Yeah. So that's going to be, I think that was great too. But if you can donate, I would appreciate that. So I'm going to get on, and give me 1 second, y'all. And let's start this live tonight. All right, Fred.
All right.
Mic is yours.
Well, I'm here. I don't know what's the topic of discussion.
Well, our topic is always about helping drug and alcoholics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mental health people, you know what I'm saying? People that's dealing with psych, you know, whatever your heart shares with that. I want to help the people, you know, everywhere, but especially from where we're from, Chester. You know what I mean? And get you guys involved a little bit more with them. You know what I mean? We have some beautiful people like Rashida. Oh God, I hate to get a brain freeze. Like Rashida and Tara. It's quite a few. It's quite a few. It'll come to me. Sometimes I get a little brain freeze. Yeah,
happens to the best of us.
That helps out, you know, and you know, feed these people, clothe these people, you know, and help people go to the rehabs, you know, and get treatment. You know, me myself, I've been off of cocaine for 40 years.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I struggled out there a long time. Like I know your dad.
My dad, he was out there for a long time.
Yeah, so
it's funny. We just had my sister's birthday dinner last night at Terrell's, the new restaurant over town, and you know, it's BYOB, and everybody was, you know, bringing their bottles and drinking, and they like, oh Fred, you want some of this? You want some drink? And I'm like, no, I don't drink. And they always ask, you know, why? And I tell them, well, it's because my dad, he did enough drinking and drugs for the both of us.
Go ahead.
And in my younger years, my dad wasn't really in my life because he was addicted to drugs and alcohol. Right. And so I've always said that I'll never do drugs and alcohol because when I have children, I want to be in my children's life.
Absolutely.
And I don't want them to ever have to go through what I went through as a child.
Absolutely.
And you know, before my father passed, you know, we became the best of friends. That was my guy. I loved him to death. Yeah, you know, beautiful. Once he got off of the drugs and alcohol, he was a really great man.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
So, but I think it's something
that... His name?
Squeak, everybody know Chester Squeak from 3rd Street. A legend in the city of Chester. Chester Squeak from 3rd Street.
Look, I remember when he and I and my brother, we used to be jumping from the tree to the roof. You know what I'm saying? They were like family, brother Allison, all of them, the whole family. You know what I mean? So Squeak was very dear to me and our family. You know what I mean? And to watch y'all grow up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? When you was in, I think I got really close and around y'all in Holy City.
In Holy City, yeah.
In Holy City. When this man right here used to be carrying a briefcase, he probably was 7.
I was, literally 7. When I lived in Holy City, I was 7 years old.
You had to be so
I was 7.
This is Fred right here.
Yeah.
Suits and briefcase. He always wanted to be... To make it in life. Just to make it in life.
When I was 7, that's when I wanted to be a pastor back then.
Was it a pastor?
Yep. At 7, I was wanted to be a pastor. I had a Bible. And I had my first job at 7, working at the barbershop on Spurl, 9th and Spurl.
9th and Spurl.
Yep, right there. And then when I was 11, I transitioned into community activism and politics.
And doing a great job at it.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you. I really am.
Thank you so much.
I got to show some love.
Thank you.
Doing a great job at it. I said, to see you sitting up on a city council chair, you know what I mean? And knowing him was like, wow, he really got where he was. So that's a blessing.
Yeah.
God bless him. And that was his walk he had for you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? In spite of what people say, what they think, what they feel, the stories people make up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Let them go right ahead. You know what I'm saying? Because God got this for you, and this is why you're here.
You know, like living in my truth, I'm living in my destiny.
Go ahead.
You know, this is what God has for me.
That's right.
And this is something that was written for me before I was born.
There you go.
And I didn't just get here because God, you know, put me here. I also worked hard to get here.
You worked hard.
You know, since I was 11.
We got to do our part.
We got to do our part.
We got to do our part.
God going to set the play up. We just got to work the play out.
Right.
And that's what I've done since I was a little boy.
Yes, you have.
And you know, I never did it for any fame or fortune or anything. And if you know politics, you don't make no money. You don't make no real money in politics. This is just something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to give back to the community. I've always wanted to be involved and just do my small part in trying to make the city of Chester better in the world. And that's what I'm doing, you know, just doing what I can to improve the lives of our residents and, you know, people from Chester. I'm born and raised in Chester. All my family still lives in Chester. My mother, my brothers and sisters, you know, we all still live in Chester. And I love Chester with everything in me.
Me too.
You know, that is my hometown. That's where, you know, I want to raise a family one day and, you know, help build Chester and bring Chester to what I know it can be.
God
Chester
bless
has
you.
so much potential.
Yes.
And, you know, I mean, we've come a long way, but we got a long way to go.
Right.
But I think we'll get there, especially if we continue to bring young people at the table, you know, with new thinking and new ideas on how we can move the city of Chester forward. I think we'll get there. You know, we may not get there today. We may not get there tomorrow.
Gotta do it
but
one day at a time.
One day at a
That's
time,
right.
but we'll get
That's
there.
right.
And I think
That's
Chester
right.
will be a beautiful place again and a thriving city for families and people to work, live, and play.
Beautiful.
But it's going to be a collaborative effort of people coming together, people like yourself, people like, you know, community activists, people like ordinary people coming together with great ideas and saying, hey, let's implement this. Hey, let's do this. How can we make Chester better? Everybody got to come together. It can't be just one. We can't depend on politicians to bring the city back. We got to come together as a community. It's a collaborative effort. You know, it's about all of us coming together
That's right.
and doing our part. Everybody has a part to play and, you know, making any city better.
Well, my part is helping these suffering addicts.
That's right.
And alcoholics. You know what I'm saying? I've done a lot in the city far as for the children, you know, the younger children. You know, I used to do the shows at the
I remember the fashion shows at Chester High School.
I used to love
the
that
good old
so
days.
much. Yes. You know, I'm a decorator.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I've helped
Talented
people.
one at that.
Yeah, you know, happy with their events, you know, but I love what I do now, far as, you know, coming to a point in my life where without drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, at one time, just like your dad, I thought it had to be like that, you know, and that's the way that we was. But that's because we saw our fathers and them drinking, you know, and older people around us, you know, drinking. And, you know, we see the addicts on the corners, you know, and, you know, it was just a fantasy for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of times it just goes down from generation to generation.
Generation to generation.
You know, you see your grandmom smoking, you see your mom smoking,
And
you think it's okay.
Because
you think
it's
it's cool. Now it's like, oh, I want a cigarette. I want some weed.
Because it's
I
them.
want, exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
You know, so, I mean, it's picked up, you know, and inherited, you know, at times, but drugs change. And every generation they change.
Yeah.
The generation today is
This
brutal.
new drug ain't no joke.
It's brutal. And a lot of our kids are getting addicted to drugs.
Yep.
And a lot of them think that the weed and all that stuff is okay, but I work in the rehab field. Look, they coming in young. They coming in young, y'all. And it's time. We have to help them. We have to do something. We can't, you know, let them go. Most of them say, you know, well, I ain't got nowhere to stay. You know what I mean? And, you know, I don't get high. I just smoke weed. Well, fentanyl and everything else is in weed today.
Exactly.
We got to teach our children. We have to let them know. We have to encourage them, you know, to not, you know, want to smoke weed and do drugs because that don't make you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And now it's just making so many of these kids fall. You know, this is why a lot of the killings and all that stuff is going on because they boost themselves up with this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it make the illusions that's in them and all them drugs that's in them make them think they killers. Like, you know, they got to get high first before they even kill somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Oftentimes, especially with younger people, you know, popping a perk or, you know, popping a pill, it starts out as, oh, we're just having fun. And then it becomes an addiction.
I was just having fun.
Yeah.
I was just having fun.
It start out as, oh, we just having fun. We just going to pop this perk. We just going to get high. The next thing you know, you can't get off of them.
Can't get off.
And I've lost so many friends from synthetic pills and, overdosing and all that at a young age.
At a young age.
And
it does not discriminate.
No,
it has
not at
no
all.
age, creed, nothing. Race, it don't matter who you are, what you do, what you got, whatever.
Yep.
Drugs and alcohol kills. That's what it does. And it's a silent, slow killer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like you saying, like for me, as an addict, because people say, why you call yourself an addict? Because I am. I can't say that I'm not. I'm in recovery.
Yeah,
this is what keeps me real.
Yep.
I know that this disease, it's a disease. People don't believe in that. A lot of people don't. But it is truly a disease.
Yeah.
And it's cunning, baffling, and powerful. And people say, you've been off that mess and for a long time. I could be off for the rest of my life, but I'm an addict. I'm just an addict who just don't use anymore.
That's right.
Because of, my belief and my understanding. And I will live by the 12 steps, of Narcotics Anonymous. People think that's corny. It's not corny. It's a lifesaver.
That's right.
That's what it is. It's a lifesaver, but everywhere, not just in our city, but we have a lot of people that we know that are out there in those streets, man, in this weather, in this, you know what I mean? The prominent people that used to be. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they never had a life before except the life that they had. That's how baffling drugs and alcohol are.
Yeah.
And we started out cool, enjoying it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Having fun.
I started out on weed. I went from weed to pills to cocaine to smoking cocaine to rehab. Yep. You understand what
and
I'm
like
saying?
you said, addiction doesn't discriminate. Whether you black, white, Puerto Rican,
don't matter.
What black, young,
age,
old,
it don't matter.
It doesn't discriminate.
It don't matter.
And majority of people start out as having fun, thinking it's having fun, and then it leads to addiction. And like many of you, it's our brothers, our sisters, our aunts, our uncles, our cousins, somebody's mother. Like, you'd be surprised who turned into addicts.
Yeah.
The
undercover ones.
Exactly.
The undercover ones too. It's a lot of them.
A lot of them.
The undercover ones, yeah. Who can't unmask themselves.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I still see a lot of people, well, not very much of a lot, but some people when I used to get high that are still getting high. I pray for them. I pray for every still suffering addict and alcoholic today, as well everybody, in this world. But if I can just spin a wand around and save everybody, believe me, I would. But I'm going to speak out loud, and I'm going to get louder and louder and louder on this thing here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To try to help people, and family members to understand how vicious, drug and alcohol addiction is. You know what I mean? And I wanted you to come on because I knew Squeak. Yeah. You know what I mean? To be honest. You know what I'm saying? And we got stories.
Oh yeah.
We got stories. And to you growing up with that allows you to have a testimony.
Yep.
You follow what I'm saying? And this is another thing. Like, some people don't want to come on and say, well, I'm not going to say nothing about my mom, or I'm just using scenarios, by my mom, or, my sister or my best friend, but I'll share.
Yeah.
Whatever you share. But guess what? When you surrender for yourself, you know what I mean, and you get honest with yourself, and these are things that has been trauma for you, you know what I mean, you can not feel sorry for somebody.
And
people know
you might be helping somebody else, sharing your story, sharing your testimony. You're helping somebody else.
Absolutely.
And like I said, the reason I don't do drugs or alcohol is because my father did it, and I promised myself that I would be in my children's life, and I wanted to be in my children's life. And when I get older, so I'm never going to do drugs or alcohol. I remember when I was a little boy, and I was living in the LV. and I would wait for my dad.
I remember them days.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my dad to come get me, and he would always say, "I'm coming to get you." He would never come. But me and my sisters, we would walk over town to Beef and Beer, and we would get him out the bar and say, and we loved our dad. We always wanted to see him, always wanted to be around him. And at that time, we never understood addiction. We didn't understand addiction until we got older to realize. I mean, that's just like even when I was younger. I used to laugh at crackheads, or I used to laugh at people, be like, "Oh,
and we talk about
we used to talk about
they
people.
Lunching. Remember that word?
They lunching. And when you're younger, you don't know no better. You talk about people like that, but then it's like, no. When you get older, you realize, oh, that can be any one of us.
That could be anyone.
We're all one step away from being in addiction.
I never thought it would be me.
Exactly.
I was the cool girl.
Right.
I was the ragging girl. I was the sharp girl. You know what I'm saying? End up being a junkie girl. And you know what? I don't feel bad to say that. I don't feel bad. I'm grateful that I can say that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I've surrendered. You know what I mean? I ask God for forgiveness. I turned my back on God.
That's right.
You know what I mean? But going to rehab and my cousin LeVert, and a man called Doc Watson and John Reed and my sister Cheryl, they helped me to understand, that God never forsaken me.
That's
He was always there for me. I just couldn't feel that at the time because I was done. You know what I'm saying? I'm mad at the world.
Right.
You follow? I'm mad at me for real because look at me. I'm weighing 82 and a half pounds.
Wow.
You know what I mean? All sick in the mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, I might as well just die.
Yeah.
You follow? Because I couldn't stop. I tried many times to stop on my own, and I did that several times, but I just didn't have what it takes to make this thing go away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I never heard of a disease at this point. I never heard of recovery at this point, until I hit rock bottom and went to rehab. Homeless, you know what I mean? Nothing to eat, smelling, looking horrible. A lot of people say, I never saw you like that. Well, thank God you didn't. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it's the real deal. You follow? Exactly. It's the real deal. You'd be surprised, but I knew how to camouflage myself too. You know what I mean? But people could clearly see something's wrong. And I don't think that you could see that something's wrong. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people out here right now like that.
Oh, a lot of people are battling addictions that we know nothing about. People are walking around like everything is okay, and they got a whole addiction. But they know how to cover it up. And, the reality is people try to get off an addiction or try to stop an addiction, but you can't do it on your own. You think you're powerful enough to do it on your own.
Some people, like my sister Lena, my sister Lena stopped. You know what I mean? She told me to get out of her face. I thought I was going to go around and save everybody.
Yeah.
Right? I was trying to save everybody. Y'all got to go to rehab. You got to do this. You got to do that. My sister said, get out of my face. She chose church. And church helped her. But changing the thinking is what keep you from using.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And she, some of us don't change all of our behaviors. Like we'll go back around the people, places, and things. I did that. I went around people, places, and things too. I can't say that I didn't because I did. You know what I mean? But, you got to realize that this is just not the way. It's not for me. This is making me hunger. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This is making me miss what I used to do and what I used to be. You know what I'm saying? So changing my people, places, and things and hang with people who was trying to survive just like me is what got me where I'm at today. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And I think one of the things we have to normalize is stop looking down on people with addiction. I think so many people in the world, we look down on people that have an addiction, not realizing that that's them today and it could be us tomorrow. And most people, they don't set out to be an addict. It just happens.
I didn't.
I didn't. It's not like people say, I want to be an addict. No, it just happens. And so we can't look down on people. We got to do what we can to help people and try to be there for people. And, somebody had a question, let's see.
Yeah, Aisha, we probably passed a lot of questions.
How was it growing up with your father knowing his addiction? Also had a father who was on drugs, but I never seen it. For me, it was hard for me because, like I said, I wanted my father in my life. You know, I would literally look out the window and wait for my dad to come, and he never showed up, and he never came. And you know, I wanted him to be a part of my life, and he wasn't there. He wasn't the father that I needed him to be at the time. You know, in my later years, in my adult years, he became the father that I needed him to be. But growing up, when I was a little boy, he wasn't there. And that's why I really geared towards Thaddeus Kirkland. You know, he became my godfather. He became the father figure in my life to help me, you know, and to show me all the ropes. But my biological father, he wasn't there. He was addicted to drugs and alcohol. And at the time, I was mad at him. But once I learned addiction, I couldn't fault him. He was addicted. You know, he was in that state of mind.
But as a child, it's like, it's trauma.
Absolutely.
It's trauma.
Absolutely.
So I want people to hear this. You know, you may think that, you know, everything is okay, because I know I did with my two boys. Those the ones, Salim and Amir, is the ones who experienced my addiction with me. And I felt like they were old enough once they got like 8 and 7 and 9, you know, they knew how to cook oodles and noodles. They can use the microwaves then, you know what I mean? Pop the cans open and do what you do. And I thought it was okay what I was doing. I didn't see myself neglecting them. You know what I mean? And then my lying, you know, because you become a vicious liar. You can't help it. You know what I mean? Because when you tell the first lie, you're going to tell another lie. You're going to tell another lie. Y'all hear me say this all the time. Yeah, till you believe the lies, you defend the lies, and you just become the lie. You know what I'm saying? And that's what all of us as addicts, but we don't see that. And we don't feel that. And when we made plans, like I would tell my kids, I'm going to come to the school play. And don't show up. I'm going to get you the sneaks. And don't get those sneaks. I get some more Bobo sneaks. I need some money for my dad. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm going to take you, we going to go to the movies. Things that we used to do. All that goes away. You know what I mean? To the point where
everything you said you're going to do, now you done smoked it all up. You know, so it's like now it just becomes a cycle.
It's a cycle. And it's a hunger that you can't stop.
And I never seen my dad get high. I knew he got high, but I never seen him get high. I would see him come in the house drunk when him and my, you know, when I was real younger, that he would come in the house drunk and, you know, hit on my mom, or, you know, him and my mom go at it. And, you know, Squeak, get the hell out of here and everything. And I might be at the top of the steps listening to this and hearing it. But what it did was it taught me life lessons. It taught me what not to do. And it also, it taught me how to treat a woman and how not to treat a woman. And, you know, it made me realize you can't reach your full potential if you're addicted to drugs and alcohol. You'll never be able to reach your full potential because you'll always be trying to get the next hit, trying to get the next smoke. You're trying to do something when your focus should be on something else.
I used to call my dad in my head the monster when he drank. You know, because we knew when he came in, some shit was going to happen. It was going to happen. You know what I mean? And he would fight my mom just like for no reasons, you know, and then get us sometimes. You know what I mean? He used to, you know, stick his knuckles in our head and think it's funny and tell you better not cry. He was the monster then. But then when he wasn't drunk, which I didn't understand alcoholism at that time, you know what I mean? These are just some of the childhood traumas that I had to come about, you know what I mean, to set myself free, you know what I mean? And that was painful, you know, and he, when he wasn't drunk, he was the nicest daddy in the world.
Totally different
he was the nicest daddy in the world, and he made the promises, you know what I'm saying? But once he drank, promises was out the window, and it was out the door. I remember we used to go across the bridge on 2nd Street, that little black bridge by the casino. And once we crossed that bridge, that's all psyched out. We was like, we out of Chester! Going to Sherman Hill, y'all, to my grandmother's property. We thought, my dad had us thinking we was going, like, we was going far, you know what I'm saying?
And that's another thing about addiction is, you know, when you're on it, you are totally different person than when you're off it. And you know, and addiction again, there's different forms of addiction. You know, and one of them is alcohol addiction. And I have friends and family that's addicted to alcohol.
They don't think
And
they are.
No, you can't tell them they addicted. They'll swear you up and down they not addicted.
I ain't like this. I don't do this. I don't do that. But like I say, it's a slow process.
Yep. And they are totally different person when they're sober versus when they're drunk.
When they're drunk.
Like literally, complete. It's like day and
now,
night.
and I can see all of that. I can watch all of that. You know, especially when when they get
But 40 years ago, you didn't understand that.
I was having fun too.
You're right.
And they used to say, "You get so loud." I don't get loud, man. As loud as they get,
yep.
You know, and they telling me that I used to get loud. What? It's all a part of addiction. It's all a part of that process. You know what I mean? And some feel functional, and that's okay. You know, if that's what they feel and that's what they want to do. But disease.
And there's also, I think, it's functioning addicts.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Well,
are
people say
functioning
functioning
addicts.
to me because I'm a recovering person. I'm a recovering addict. To me, it's no such thing of a functional addict. It's just that the suicide of drugs and alcohol not only affects you so people can see it on the outside, but it affects you on the inside. You know what I mean? That's why a whole lot of people end up with liver problems, kidney problems, you know what I mean? Lung problems, you know, and all that. And you notice if you go to the doctors, the first thing they on your your paperwork, it'd be, do you do alcohol or drugs? You know what I mean? You know, they ask that because a lot of times, you know, people who've been drinking so long, it scares me like to see young people drink because they don't know how to drink. They just drink. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, just drink. Used to have some style and class to it.
Right.
But, you know what I'm saying? That's a functional with the style and class. But today, they drink gallons. I've seen young folks put gallons down. 2 or 3. It's like, how do they function?
Drink a whole bottle. Drink.
You hear me? Shot time, look, shot time. They take it down shot time 15 times through the night. You know what I'm saying?
And they don't, and a lot of them don't realize they're alcoholics. Don't realize. They think they're just having fun.
That's what I thought.
It's having fun every day.
Every day.
They're drinking and smoking every
single
day.
day.
Every single day.
Every single day.
And if you have to do something every single day and you need it, you crave it, you're addicted to it.
And see, your body gonna talk to you.
Yep.
The body is gonna talk to you, and so is the mind. You know what I mean? Because see, the mind is captured now because you're enjoying it. The mind is captured now because you feel like you can handle it, and that's called DIS/EASE. That's dis-ease. You ain't even aware of the disease yet. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So I always throw that in there, the DIS/EASE, because that's how it worked for me. You know what I mean? And I know this thing ain't no prejudice.
That's
I know this thing don't have no prejudice in it whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I mean? You're different. You're a different person. Your behaviors are different. Yeah. You know what I mean? Your body language is different. You follow what I'm saying? You feel it. Some people can just drink, get up and go right to work.
Yep. Literally.
Like it's nothing.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Drink all night.
All night.
Get up, go straight to work.
And
like
go straight to work.
Happened.
That's like...
Well, that's why I say like a functioning addict. Like, you know, they're addicted, but they still get up and they live their daily lives. They still work. They still, they still do everything a normal person do. But
they drink. And it's some drugs. Yep. You know what I'm saying? You know, and those are the kind of people I used to be around. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And, one of my friends was like, girl, you don't need to go no rehab. You could just stop. You need to just stop. And I believe that. You know what I mean?
And then you realize it's not that easy.
Wasn't that easy for me. Yeah. And I learned that what works for one
may not work
for the other. You know what I mean? I just want people to understand this. And I want people to realize that, sickness is sickness, and sickness is not, the disease of sickness is not going to allow you to know that you're sick. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to allow you to really see these things, or until it starts deteriorating. Yep. You follow what I'm saying? And when it starts deteriorating you, 9 out of 10, the poison done what it had to do. Exactly. Because it's poison. It is poison. Literally. Absolutely. And what they put on those, and then they put the fancy names on them. And I used to swear I drank Fred, I didn't even know how to drink. I tell you, I done had so many different drinks that I'm thinking is the drink.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But it's one thing I couldn't do was the taste of things. I used to always say, well, I want a fruity taste.
Someone has a question there.
Where that? Patrice, I have a question. If a person drinks 4 days out of the week, are they considered an addict? Just 1 or 2 drinks? 4 days out of the week. For what reason do you want to drink? This is my answer to that. And I'm no doctor, lawyer, Indian chief. I like to make that very clear. You know, because I'm definitely against drugs and alcohol. You know what I mean? And I know that disease is cunning, baffling, and powerful. You follow what I'm saying? And the damage that it can do, because I hear stories, I listen to stories all the time about it. If a person drinks 4 days a week, for what reason? Because they want it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? They look forward to it, to drink these 4 days a week. Let me know if I'm answering your question right. You know what I mean? And it's continuously, every week, 4 days a week, it becomes a desire.
You're right.
You follow what I'm saying? It becomes a desire. And you do it every 4 days a week. Like he said, a functional addict or alcoholic. You know, this goes in a long way. Some people won't drink. You know how we used to go out trees. We used to be like, boy, I can't wait till the weekend because we worked every week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't wait till the weekend. Friday night, we was lit. Saturday night, we was lit. And sometimes Sunday night, we was lit. And then we get up Monday morning sick as I don't know what. I know I did, but I made it to work. You follow what I'm saying? Functional addict. That's how I see it from my experiences with it. You know, I can answer these questions to what addiction has done to me. You know what I mean? And what I've heard other people share. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I'm no doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, but I am a recovering addict. And I am a junkie, and I am an addict, an alcoholic. You follow what I'm saying? And I can tell you from the experiences that I had from it. That's why I said, you know, before I became the junkie of cocaine, I could drink, you know that, with my pinky out, thinking I'm cute. I want an apple martini. All I did was saw it once. I want one of them. I didn't care what was in it, but it was cute. You know what I'm saying? It was cute. You know what I mean? So then I saw rum and coke. You know what I mean? Like, I saw all these pretty drinks that look like, you know, fun time. Isn't it crazy how they make it look like it's fun? And what's inside of it is dangerous. Make sense to what I'm saying? But I hope that helped answer your question, Treese. If that's a dependency. If I'm going to drink 4 days a week, I depend on drinking those 4 days a week. That's a dependency.
I think somebody else has one too.
You know? Going this way? Well, Shell, only functional until you're not. That's a fact. I got to pull this down or something because I can't see.
Oh, you got to put your glasses on.
I'm surprised nobody said, Tracy, put your glasses on. Because they'll say that to me in a heartbeat. Sharita Freeman, good evening, everyone. By God's grace, and I celebrate 18 years today.
Wow,
put them hearts up there. Congratulations. Congratulations. Y'all show her love. Please show her love. Congratulations, honey. That is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. Congratulations. You know, y'all, anybody we see on here that shares 2 days, it deserves a congratulation. 1 day at a time is how we live in recovery. You understand what I'm saying? And that is so beautiful. So beautiful. Congratulations, my sister. And we have Dr. Tracy Townsend. Patrice, we usually have to assess and ask when and why they drink. What specific drink, how many ounces or bottle you would drink in 1 day. For example, to be able to form plan of care. That makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? I'm glad you broke that down in those terms because I speak recovery talk. I shoot straight from the gut. I let y'all know that from the door. She broke it down a little better. But around drinking 4 days a week, that's what you're going to do.
Yes, yep.
And that's what your body and mindset is going to start programming. You know what I mean? That's still a part of the pieces to the puzzle that I tell y'all about. That when addiction comes along and it don't make you feel like you have an addiction, it makes you feel like you're functional, you're planning your thing. I've been there, done that. You're planning your thing. And once you become this alcoholic or addict, unnoticing, not noticing that this is what is taking place. This is what I speak about when I say the brain, disease get hold of it, which is a voice, because the voice is what's telling you what you need to do, how you're going to do it. This is the way that I'm going to do it. We call that the voice, especially when it just punch you in your face and get out of control. You know what I mean? That's the disease that we talk about. You know what I mean? And then it start breaking your brain up into little pieces like the Matrix.
Because a lot of times you're not supposed to do it.
We know
and your mind knows you're not supposed to do it.
We know we're not supposed to do it.
The addiction overpowers
it. The voice.
The voice, yeah.
That's what we call it. The voice overpowers you. It does not discriminate, but it does make you feel like you're smarter the way you do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then your smarter is going to become damaging either way, out in the gutter or physically inside. That's how I see it. I hear these stories 1,000 times. I got Dr. Tracy. Aisha Staples said they dress all unhealthy things up. That's the thing.
Absolutely.
Drinking and stuff is all dressed up. That's what I'm saying.
They make it all cute, make it all pretty.
Pina colada.
Put the
Pina
fruit in
colada.
there.
You know what I mean? Got Henny and rum in it. You know what I mean? You're mixing all of these poisons together. You follow? All of these toxic poisons together, and they taste good, and they look good, and they sound good, and they doing you no good.
Just like all of this hookah smoking they
my God!
All of these little pins that they making. Oh, they look real cute. Those little pins look real cute. 20 years from now,
any smoking with no lungs is going to do some damage.
Absolutely. And
it's
so many people smoke hookah nowadays.
Oh my God, it's the
smoke
thing.
The vape pens, and
20
years from now, they will be paying the price for that.
They know how to put this stuff out there for us. I'm telling you. And our kids is going buck wild crazy with it. Yeah. Buck wild crazy with it.
I literally...
That reminds me of smoking on the pipe. We used to sit around with pipes, just like hookah pipes, and with coke in it. And everybody got a what is it? The little snake thing, whatever it is. The tube, with the smoking part. And all of us sitting down there smoking coke. It reminds me of that. You know what I'm saying? Now, instead of, they got this fantasy thing now called hookah. They tell me, what is it? Potpourri? Potpourri! And some other chemicals. Yeah. Potpourri, we burn that in our houses to smell good. And the addictive mind got our people thinking, oh, it tastes good.
Yeah.
Tastes good.
Yeah.
It's chemicals. It's chemicals. And we putting it, we smoking it, we inhaling it inside us.
Yeah.
You understand?
And like Aisha said, they dress things up that are not that are unhealthy for you. They dress it up. And that's what they're doing with hookah. They're dressing it up. They're making it look pretty. It smells good. They got all these different flavors.
Yep.
And our children, I mean, you see kids walking to school smoking vapes. Literally walking to middle school, high school, smoking vapes.
It's worse than cigarettes.
It is.
Vapes is worse than cigarettes, y'all. Yep. It is almost 4 times stronger than a cigarette. It just gives you the illusion of the taste like you're smoking a cigarette. Yeah. And then the mental comes in, the sickness part, the disease part, and it start tasting, and you're thinking like, what they tell you, oh, these better than cigarettes. So I'm going to stop smoking. I'm just going to start vaping.
You remember them commercials where the lady used to be on there, I used to smoke cigarettes. That's how they going to be with them vapes. I used to smoke vapes.
With them hookahs too.
Yeah.
With them hookahs too.
Exactly. Too.
That was good.
That's how they going to be.
Yeah,
20 years from now, that hookah and that vape is going to destroy generations.
Aisha said, why would you smoke something you can't see inside of it? Exactly. You know what I mean? I believe they're putting something in the medical marijuana. Girl, you know good and well they ain't make that legal for no reason.
Yep.
Same with the alcohol. Did the same thing with the alcohol. They know it's a bazillion-dollar freaking industry with that. You know, and they can't stand not seeing, getting none of that benefit of the money. You know what I mean? They can care less about the people who died from it. You know what I mean? So now they want you to feel now that it's safe. Really? They said drinking was safe, but they put on the bottle you can't go over 1.0. Knowing good and well that you're going to take a drink, and then you're going to take another drink, and you over the drinking. What you call it?
They realize they gonna smoke weed and sell weed regardless. So we might as well make it legal and start selling it.
That's
so we
what
can
they
make
said.
money
They're
off
gonna
of
do it. They're gonna do it. And anymore, they ain't even gotta go get cocaine, nothing from Cuba, nowhere. They making their own stuff.
Yep.
And this is your scientists doing this.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? Especially when they brought out the what was that? A thing that looked like weed. I hate to get my brain to freeze up on me that most of the people was drinking. My son used to smoke that mess when he came home from jail because they couldn't detect it in your urine. What? Oh, God. Somebody help me out. Y'all know y'all got to help me out with the names of some of these things sometimes, you know. But they used to sell them in the store. They used to have Scooby-Doo on the packs. They used to have Mickey Mouse on the packs. You know what I mean? And all them young folks.
The edibles or what?
Not edibles. You smoked it. It was I hate that. It'll come to me. I'm sorry, y'all. It'll come to me. But my son used to smoke. Nah, I smoke this because you can't detect it. Well, guess what? I'm gonna get that name out. I just can't. Somebody help me on here. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Oh God, I hate to do that.
K2?
K2, there it is.
K2.
Y'all know. That's what it is.
Aisha
K2.
said it, K2.
Let me tell you about K2. K2 got a whole lot of people in rehab. Matter of fact, K2 got a whole lot of people in psych.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? They pulled it off the market because, see, their babies started smoking.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They had all the little kids got, oh, that's cool. Let me get Scooby-Doo. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the psych part of it, the psychological part of it. You know what I mean? To get us to start liking it. You know what I mean? And then we get hooked on it. And they had it on the news for a long time because it was all chemicals. And what they would do, these doctors and scientists, when it start getting big, see, their kids started using them. Their kids started using them. You know what I mean? We ain't the only ones doing this stuff now. You know what I'm saying? It got around to their peoples. You follow what I'm saying? And what they started doing was because, you know those words, even in medications, right? The doctor dope dealers, that's what I call them. Because I say all doctors, a lot of them is just dealers. You follow what I'm saying? They're your worst dealers. You know, that's why we can't pronounce half of the medication. You know what I mean? Because, see, we don't know what that means. Exactly. But they know what all those crazy-ass letters and all that stuff means. You know, with that stuff. And what they did with the K2, they started taking certain things out when it hit the news. You know what I mean? But they put something else.
They was lacing it with embalming fluid, all kinds of stuff.
It got the kids going crazy.
I remember I was on the east side on Upland Street, and the guy was out there butt naked on K2.
On K2.
It makes you take your clothes off. It makes you do all kinds of crazy stuff. And
you know what, parents? I want y'all to know. You know what the psychological part of this thing do too? It makes a person like an addict that. Like, say I'm doing cocaine. And I know cocaine have you off the wall. I know you can't stay still. You hear what I'm saying? So when it gets you high and it gets you up, they'll have you do heroin to come down. That's what literally people think is happening to them. Ain't that crazy? That's what they really believe that they're doing. Bringing the upper high down and the down high up with cocaine.
Wow.
It's crazy. It is crazy. We got to help save these people. We really have to keep these type of lives, and you know, I wish we can get it to TV and everything. See, ain't gonna show a lot of this because it's gonna hurt people's pockets.
Exactly.
They don't mind people dying or dropping dead. You know what I mean? Look at all the stars. I post them all the time that had to come off that alcohol and come off that drugs. And when they was making all those movies we would love, and we didn't even know. We thought it was all in the movie, but they was all getting high. Now you got them 50 years clean, 40 years clean, 35 years clean. All the stars that we used to love, you would never think that they was on drugs. They all was lit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Toe up from the floor.
But they was functioning addicts.
But they was functioning addicts. We couldn't see it.
Only one we knew was getting high for sure was Whitney Houston, because she was showing us.
But you know why it was Whitney? Because, see, it got more aggressive.
It got, right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The coke started getting the fentanyl.
Yeah, right,
and all that
right.
stuff. She was getting high. She was part of the fentanyl and all that kind of stuff. You know, because generations and over the years, this thing get worse. It don't get better. It gets worse.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And she was on that thing for quite some time.
Yeah.
Since young girl. You know what I mean? That we finding out now. You know what I'm saying?
And again, a lot of those drugs, it ultimately kills you. It kills you.
All of them.
Ultimately, it kills you.
Look at all those stars. They go through so much trauma. They go through so much craziness in that world that even back in Betty Davis days and, you know, what's her name that had her dress up? What's her name?
Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe and all of them. They all was on pills. All of them.
Yep.
All of them died from overdoses.
Yep.
Every last one of them died from overdoses. And that was your doctor dealers saying it calms you down.
Yep.
It'll keep you up. Look at Michael Jackson. They had that man on drugs since he was a little boy.
Yep.
A little boy. This man changed his face. He changed the color of his skin. And everybody was talking smack, but now look what they doing.
Yep.
They doing the same thing. Changing who they are. That's trauma. Something's wrong. If you don't love who you are today, I love me. I'm getting fat. I don't care. God breathing in and wakes me up every morning. I still look good.
That's right.
You follow what I'm saying? I'm struggling with these with these sisters. This process ain't for me. But guess what? I'm doing the best I can with them. But it's on a beautiful face.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? When I got high, I couldn't even look at me. I wouldn't look in the mirror. I wouldn't look in the reflection. Because I didn't want nobody to be right no way.
Yeah.
Everybody was telling me what's wrong with you? Your face getting little. Your skin is dark. You know what I mean? You don't look like you used to look.
Yeah.
Talking about me and my Michael Jackson and my daggone salt and pepper boots. You know what I mean?
Let
my
me ask you a
Vanderbilt jeans.
If someone on this live right now is addicted to something and they needed help to get off and they wanted help to get off, what would you say to them?
I would say, first, you have to be willing to surrender to your problem. Second, you have to accept the fact that something's really wrong. And I would go to a rehab. If you have to go to detox first, do detox. You know what I mean? Today, a lot of the people they're younger, and a lot of them don't understand what rock bottom means. Because anytime that you are ready to get clean, that means that you have suffered into the rock bottom point. And once you hit that rock bottom, there's just nowhere to go, no turning around. It's either do or die. So I would recommend you to go to a rehab, because going to rehab is going to allow you to get the information and the education on where you are. You know what I mean? And what this is. And yes, if you don't want to go to a rehab, make one of the NA meetings or the AA meetings or the CA meetings. Because everybody in there is suffering and been through and going through the same thing you have gone through. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a world called ours. You know what I mean? And don't fear the pain. And I know it's hard for me to tell somebody that, but you have to face the pain that this disease is taking you through, because you just can't, you can't shove it off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to learn how to get it off. You know what I mean? It's like, putting on a jacket. The baby's putting on a jacket and they don't know how to put their arms through it or take their arms out. It's crawling before walking again. You know what I mean? I would definitely go to the hospital if that's what you have to do. You know what I mean? Take yourself to a police station. You follow what I'm saying? Call an ambulance for yourself. You know what I mean? But the voice will get chronic. when you get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
The voice in your head, which is called disease, it'll start really talking to you, but the talk is going to be a beating. You know what I mean? Because it has control of you, and you have no control of it. And all the beating and the talking and the feelings that you're going to go through is going to make you, the best way you know how to get rid of it is going to be getting high. See, that's the only thing that cures that in a sick mind, is to have another hit or have another drink. You know what I mean? This is when the puzzle was really in the matrix.
Yeah.
You know
what
what
you
I mean?
saying earlier? We talked about a lot of people who are functioning addicts or people who cover up their addiction. And so there may be people out there that is addicted and want rehab or want to go to a meeting, but they're embarrassed. You know, our culture, our community, they're embarrassed. They don't want to be seen. They don't want to be seen in a rehab. They don't want to be seen at an AA
Ain't
meeting.
nobody want to see. I'm like that. For a person like that, you know, I never got to live that part of life because my addiction went where it went, and I had to go straight to detox. We used to fill Crozier up with detox. See, we didn't know about the rehab because there wasn't that many.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Until they made addiction and alcohol a mental health disease, like a dual diagnosis disease. That was money. You know what I mean? So they took the teachings of how to stop using out and brought more of the doctor dealers' medicines in. You know what I mean? But for a person, we call that denial. You know what I mean? A person who's in their addictions and don't want to go to let nobody know that they're, they feel as though they have a problem. That's being in denial, basically. It's an embarrassment. You know what I mean? Because that's what the sickness make you believe. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're not in control of yourself. And for any time that you try to fix yourself, disease will come harder. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's going to come harder, and it's going to make you not fix yourself. It's going to talk you into to telling you yourself, because this is what it is and who it is, that yourself, that it's not that bad, and I'm not going around people. I'm not going out there embarrassing myself. But at the same time, you're slowly committing suicide. I'm going to just be straight with you. Yeah. You follow what I'm saying?
The reality.
You dying. You know what I mean? Because if you feel as though you want to get off and you got enough, hey, disease is doing its thing. You know? And like I said, what works for one may not work for the next. Yeah. You follow? So I can only say what I can say.
And the reality is addiction.
That's why I need people on here. Come on here. Let's explain this when you're killing it. I love it. You know, bring them. Come on. Let's talk about this thing. Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Love. She's on there. She was saying she's clean. So big ups to you, Stacey Love.
Stacey, that's right. And let's give them hearts up.
Yep. Big ups
to God.
to
See,
to
I do this all the time. You see what I'm doing? All the freaking time. You know what I mean? I do this all the time, y'all. Let's give Stacey some shower here with some hearts, y'all. Give her some love. You know what I mean? Because you're killing this tonight, Stay. You're definitely killing this.
But the reality is about addiction. Addiction, it will kill you, whether that's on the inside, outside, or literally. And that's the fate of it. You know, it will kill you.
Absolutely.
Inside, outside, or literally.
It's a guarantee.
And
it's a guarantee. And the thing about it is, it takes its time. It's a silent killer. It takes its time, and it doesn't discriminate. It doesn't discriminate. It takes its time. You follow? And we all out here, having a great time. Yeah. It makes you feel like you in control. Yep. You hear what I'm saying? And I don't care. For me, it doesn't matter because I done been through so much with it. You know what I mean? And my understanding of it is thorough. You know what I mean? And I'm honest about me. You know what I mean? And that's a hard part, getting honest about yourself. You follow? Hey, look, I'm in love with myself so much today that I know the only thing that can shower me with more love than what I have for me is God. That's right. You follow what I'm saying? I'm so glad that I have found God back in my life to allow me to have a life. You know what I mean? And the life that I deserve. I don't have to be out there amongst people no more. That's right. I don't got to be in these places no more. I got the full beating of this disease to be able to want to love and help the next still suffering. You know what I mean? And the denials. The ones that's in denial. You know what I mean? To come through and see that, this is not fun. This is not fun. They figured out a way to get rid of all us.
Yeah.
You hear what I'm saying? You know,
and
I can
reality
take this
is,
deeper
they think it's
for
fun.
conversation. Yeah, this is not fun.
It
This
starts
is not
out as fun. Oh,
That's right.
we just gonna get high. We just gonna have some fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we just gonna pop a couple bottles. We having fun.
Yeah.
Oh, we just gonna pop some perks. We having fun.
Yeah.
And then that fun turns into an addiction. And next thing you know, you're doing it every day.
And or every week. Like I said, we were playing. Man, I can't wait till Friday. Boy, I'm off work. We get lit. We get lit. Some of us get so lit we can't even drive.
Yep.
We do things that we wouldn't normally do. We get so loud, we be out there acting a fool.
Yep, literally.
Acting a fool, but it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. You know, they popping this thing up now. Come on, y'all, send this thing in. I love this episode. Aisha Staples is saying, she said, Fred's questions, I'll be inboxing you soon.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Patrice ain't Treese. Treese is like, the hallelujah. Hey, Dion. I see my sister, Stephanie. I'm going to shout out some people. Carol Payne. Hey, Mary, what's up, baby? You say they have an online Zoom. I have heard. It's plenty of them. There's plenty online Zooms.
Yeah.
You know, but you got to get in and connect with somebody most likely to be added on to the Zooms. It's a way that can happen. Hey, look, yeah, y'all show them hearts. Show that love.
But I'm glad you have this platform, and I'm glad you're able to help somebody. You know, because talking about addiction can help somebody. Like I said, I've never
hey,
been
Pam,
addicted.
trying to get hold of you. This girl is so, look, I am so proud of what you are doing, honey. You are helping people. You hear me? You know how they say hurt people hurt people? Well, people who find love and help for themselves, we get that. We want to help people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And your show is the truth, girl. And that song, whoo, I wish I could sing, girl, because I'll make up one for this. And I can't sing a bit. I want you on the couch. I really do, girl. You will. Let's help. We can help through each other's lives. You know what I'm saying? We can help a whole lot of people. This is why I'm asking everyone that's on this live. I try to bring the kind of people on this live that will help us get motivated more. You know, and to see that people like Fred, you know, has concerns and concern about helping people too. You know what I mean? You are the first person out of the city as an official that has been on this show. I'm so proud of that, y'all. I really am. I am so proud of that. You know, and maybe it's something that you can do that can help me help people, help us help people.
I'm honored to be here.
Get involved in it. You know what I'm saying?
I recognize that, especially people in our city.
Our city is full.
They are facing addiction every day. You know,
God.
I mean, if you're coming to City Hall to a council meeting, you know, you see people out there that are addicted to drugs and alcohol. Right. You see people out there near the
a lot of them are. You can smell it in their
A lot of them are living over town, staying over town.
That's another thing.
And it's like, we got to help those people. How do we help them?
A lot of people who don't consider themselves as alcoholics, well, they're functional alcoholics. Some of you can drink so much that you don't even smell yourself. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? You don't even smell yourself.
A non-drinker will smell that you smell like alcohol. What? But you're so used to it, and it's coming out your pores and everything.
You're numb with it.
And
You're numb with it.
Yep.
And you don't think that that's a problem? You follow what I'm saying? I mean, just to have this show on, God, thank you so much. Hallelujah. To have this show on is just allowing people to recognize some things. Yeah. You know, it's nothing wrong with it. It's nothing wrong with confessing to it. You know what I mean? Save yourself.
That's right.
Save yourself. It is nothing wrong with it. Let's fall out of the daggone ways that these people put out here for us to keep us all down and crazy. You know what I mean? And now their kids is on it. You know what I'm saying? It has become such a big epidemic now. A lot of them are even on it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You just don't know how many people is behind closed doors really hurting themselves.
Yeah. And I said it earlier, but addiction can hit anybody. And it's not only just drug and alcohol addiction. There's many addiction out there, and we got to learn to stop judging people because of their addiction is different from our addiction.
Ours. That's right.
You know, I tell people all the time, you can't judge me because I sin differently than you.
That's right.
You know, so
that's
it's
right.
like,
this is what this couch is about.
That's right.
This is what, look, the other night I got on the live, Fred, just to come, I was talking about you.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, y'all, look, I'm just sitting here and I'm so excited.
Uh-huh.
Fred, it's coming to the couch. You know what I mean? And people started popping on. So me, I think I'm working my content.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I get it all confused. But I said I'm gonna do all of them: the live, the reels, the whole 9 yards.
Right.
And Fred, I'm telling you, it turned into an hour live.
Wow.
We came on and my girl Bev is selling shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Addiction.
Mm.
Oh my God, is addiction to shopping.
Yep.
That's an addiction.
Yep.
Addiction is addiction no matter what it is. You know, it's something that stimulates the brain that you can't control.
Many people got addiction. You got shopping addiction. You got gambling addiction. You got food addiction. You got porn addiction, sex addiction. There's so many forms of addiction.
And that's what this counts.
And no one is exempt from addiction.
No one is exempt
from
addiction. No one. When I tell you, people popped on, all of us was talking about all these shoes and bags, unnecessary clothes we buy. You know what I mean? My girlfriend, Marta, she addicted to Amazon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That child, boop, 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 boop,
shopping
boop,
every
boop,
day on Amazon.
What? You hear what I'm saying? So I said, you know what? We're going to have a group of us going to sit on this couch and we're going to talk about that.
Yep.
We're going to talk about that because it's in the way sometimes. Sometimes we'll buy something and won't pay a bill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some of us will have every designer, everything on and get addicted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All these things happen. Addiction is addiction. So anybody have ideas, let's sit on this couch.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm here, y'all know, because I'm an addict. You know what I mean? But I want to share with everybody about addiction.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? No matter what the addiction is. And then getting into mental health. You know, I've brought a few people on here to help us with the mental health, part. I'm not a doctor, lawyer, Indian chief. Yes, I suffer with some mental health. You know what I'm saying? And my mental health was all blended in with my trauma.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And my drug and alcohol addiction. But we had Pam, Cunningham. This girl is just, she's living in her truth. She's living in her truth, no matter how you want to look at it. And I think that is raw. That is a gift. That is God. That is God giving her that path and that walk, to walk the walk. And now she could talk the talk.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? And powerful with it.
Yeah.
This is what this is all about. We need to get together, you know what I mean, and help each other.
Yeah.
You know, people have talked about her, talked about me, talked about a lot of people that's sick. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Walk past sick people like it's funny. They out here recording them like they funny.
Yeah.
That irks me. That irks me to see people do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or to see the families that, the mom is on drugs like mine was and my boys. You know what I'm saying? And you want to talk about it all the time. Call child, care. Do you know when these people get their kids taken from them, 9 out of 10, they can't get them back?
Yeah.
And that is something that in drug and alcohol addiction, as a female, I could speak on, because many people who knew me was calling them up on me.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying? And 9 out of 10, you knew who was working in there. They tell you who it was any daggone way. But the main thing is, different cities run different ways. And a lot of I can relate to my clients because when people tell me, family members and all, you don't love those kids, you love the streets more than you love those kids, that's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lie. You know what I mean? You don't love yourself, that's a lie. I just lost myself.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to get out of that tunnel. You understand what I'm saying? And it used to make me so mad for somebody to tell me that I didn't love my kids. And I understand today my actions showed that. My addiction showed that. You understand what I'm saying? But in my heart, when I wasn't high, I loved on my kids.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, and I felt like that what I was doing with my kids, you know, wasn't wrong because my kids knew how to do what needed to be done. My kids knew how to wash clothes. I wasn't doing it all. You know, fix mama sandwich. Why are you in there? But they would watch me come in and sleep. And then they still would take care of me too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But don't tell me that I didn't love my kids. I did love my kids. But I had a disease that I had no idea existed. You know what I mean? I didn't know that this thing was cunning, baffling, and powerful. You follow? I didn't know what I know today. And total control.
It had control.
Total control. Because see, the minute I got energy and the minute that I ate, this thing came back to me and said, all right, it's time to go back.
Yep.
And when it tells you you got to go back, you're going back.
That's right.
You're going back. You know, you have to learn how disease work. You know, and when you surrender and accept and hold yourself accountable, you're going to start battling disease back. You know, because the more you learn how it works, which the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous taught me. You know what I'm saying? That's my life. That's just like the person going to the Bible. You know what I mean? I got to go to this thing for almost any and everything because it's my guidelines.
And one of the things you touched on was about love. Someone said that you didn't love your kids. And, you know, I remember when I was younger, and again, my dad was addicted to drugs and alcohol. I thought he didn't love me. But it wasn't that he didn't love me. Oh, he was just addicted to drugs and alcohol. And this addiction had control over him.
He had no control.
He had, you know, he had no control. And he loved me. He just couldn't show me as much as he loved me because he was trying to get the next hit. He was trying to get, you know, the next drink. He was addicted. So I can't blame him, you know, for his addiction. You know, he was out there. But once he got clean and once he was off his addiction, he was able to show me how much he loved me and how much he cared for me.
Oh, wow.
But a lot of times we look at our...
Making amends.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
He was making amends.
He was making amends. And he made amends all the way up until his dying day.
Absolutely.
And, you know, and I love him dearly for that. I love him.
Me and Squeak went to in the rooms together.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And when I saw Squeak walk in the door, all you could say is hallelujah. You know what I mean? We coming in. We getting through this thing. Yeah. You know, a lot of it. It's so many of us that, like, when I walked into the rooms, I seen people that I thought was dead. You know, because you didn't see them around no more. But they were clean. Yeah. 10 years, 6 years, 12 years, 3 years. You know what I mean? So certain people that I saw, it inspired me. I was like, shoot, that joker can get clean. I know daggone well that something got to be working with this. Right. You know, and they all just showed me love. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what the rooms are for. It's a place where we can go and feel like we're human again. You know what I mean? That we're understood by our mistake that we made, because that's what it was. It was a mistake. You know, that tricked us into believing that it's okay, it's all right, not knowing that it's a sickness. You know, but today is too many of us out here that is putting this word out, but for the grace of God. You know what I'm saying? That's trying to help other people learn how to help themselves. I am no angel. You know what I mean? I can't go around fixing people, but I sure can give them everything that I have. Yeah.
And so all the addicts out there, you want to put the message out there. Absolutely. And let them know that, you know, the addiction doesn't define you. And it's not always about where you start, it's about how you finish. And you may be in addiction right now. You know, you may be going through it right now, but that doesn't have to define you. You know, your current situation is not your final destination. There's help out there. There's people out there that can help you, that's willing to help you and to, you know, bring you out of your addiction. And again, you know, it's a control thing. You don't want to be controlled for the rest of your life. You don't want to be addicted for the rest of your life. And so there's people out there that can help you and will help you.
That's right.
And, you know, if you, your family, or anyone is going out there with any addiction, and like I said, it's not just drugs and alcohol. That's right. You know, there's all forms of addiction. Right. And all forms of addiction can be helped. But you gotta want to be helped. Everybody
who came on this live tonight, everybody who showed up, you know what I mean, and shared with us, along with us, you know, putting your comments up.
And hi, Councilwoman Gibson. I see Councilwoman Gibson Williams is on the line.
Is she? Yes. You can come on the couch. Come on this couch.
Yeah, Councilwoman, you next to come on the couch.
Let's get this thing together, y'all. Please, just like I said, I'm a nonprofit, and I'm just trying to help people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I truly love what I do. I love what I do.
It's like helping the next person.
That's right.
How can you help them? Especially when you've been through it. You've been addicted. You're still in recovery, as you say. So it's like
I'm always being recovery.
Exactly. Somebody
as long as I
helps
say
you,
no. And the thing about it, y'all, recovery, the antibiotic to this whole thing is one word, 2 letters, 1 syllable, and that's no.
Mm-hmm.
That's no. We don't know how to say no. Once we become an addict or an alcoholic, we have to learn how to crawl before we walk in order to get better. You know what I mean? Because it's like it reverses our mind back to a kid's mind. You know what I'm saying? We just don't know how. We have to learn it all over again. And at the end of the day, with the 12 steps and with the knowledge, with all the information and education we have, the main ingredient is when disease starts speaking, you have to say no.
Yep.
It comes through all kinds of people, places, and things. Y'all hear what I'm saying? I don't care what I do. If it's an ill feeling that is wrong, I blame it on my sickness. You understand what I'm saying? You have to be aware. You have to know that this thing is cunning, baffling, and powerful. I'm feeling it a little bit right now, y'all, because this thing goes through my body.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Because it's the truth. It is the truth. And it's so hard to understand that no means no by any means necessary.
That's right.
This thing is powerful.
Yeah.
This thing is, I appreciate you being on this thing, this show so much. I really do. And I hope that just seeing you on here and hearing all this good, information and stuff that you've been talking on here today can be willing to want to come on and help too.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? Again, y'all, I'm looking for donations. If anybody can send a donation, I put my Cash App on there for the next Living in My Truth Award show and anniversary. It's to reward people to coming on for their bravery. You know what I'm saying? And for their honesty and their participation to a situation that is very, 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 very needed to help people. You know what I mean? And to come on and speak their truth. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Now, some people will say, last year we had a beautiful time. We had it at Dreams. You know what I mean? Tyra's place, and it was absolutely beautiful. Actually, she was my host for the whole entire thing. She's a bad girl.
Yeah.
That's a bad girl. You hear what I'm saying? Like, everything just connected. And you guys know, when I throw something, I'm always throwing a bash. There's no ifs and buts about that. Always been known for that. But this one is so heartfelt, and I appreciate everybody who comes on this live that help me to help people. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that, to see how many of you that supports me. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys come to the event, Living in My Truth. It will be in June. Yes, God, thank you for putting up the video of last year. It's online.
Okay.
It was beautiful. He did such a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? He always support me as well. And I hope you guys are able to come this year. So because I'm nonprofit and I pay for all of this myself, I am looking for support. If anybody who wants to make a donation or send me stars on here for the content of this live. Because I'm going to tell y'all, people say you can make money off of Facebook. I'm not on Facebook to make money. I'm on Facebook to help people.
And that's
you follow what I'm saying? And anyway, to make the money, you got to put the money in it. So don't think it's just like that, because it's not. It's a lot to all this stuff. And I don't have patience for all that stuff. I have patience to do just what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because this is God sent.
That's right. And I want to thank you so much for having me on the show.
Oh,
and look, in closing, what I'll say to all the people out there is that let's normalize and stop looking down on addicts. Let's normalize and stop looking down on a person that's going through something that we may see out there on the street that might be doing drugs, that might be addicted to this or addicted to that, because that may be their addiction today, our addiction tomorrow. Addiction has no discrimination. It doesn't discriminate on who's going to target next.
That's right.
And, I think we have become so used to, calling people crackheads or, talking about people or judging people.
Crackheads. And the names that they put on.
The names.
You know what I mean? Just criticize. Just hurtful.
Yep.
And
we have to stop talking about people, and stop looking down on people, and stop judging people because they sin differently than you.
Fred, go
Stop
ahead.
judging people because their addiction is different than your addiction. And all of us have some addiction in some way, shape, or form. And so don't judge a person because of their addiction.
And the ones
if
of you
anything,
that
pray
come
for them
on,
and help them.
that are brave, that come sit on this couch, you are a brave individual. You know what I mean? A blessed person. You who has found themselves and are willing to share. And one thing I will tell you about recovery is that a person get clean to help the next person get clean. And this is what they're losing from this. You know what I'm saying? It's no, generations change things at times. Generational change is just going to be. You know what I mean? So, they call us OGs, what I'm saying, how we used to be in the rooms, you know what I mean? And, some of the things we did and how we did it was boring, but they changed things. But see, disease works like this. Disease have you come into this world, you know what I mean? And change is constant. There's nothing constant but change, but the 12 steps is the 12 steps. You follow what I'm saying? That does not change. You understand what I'm saying? The fellowship is the fellowship. That does not change. You understand? We got to keep the principles of all of this as they are and as they were set. Because, see, disease is like this. It'll have you feel great because you went from step 1 to step 3. You're going to start feeling good. You're going to start feeling great. You're going to start feeling like you back. You know what I mean? And you stop using the drugs. But now you don't know how to not use the drugs anymore and think like an addict.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We have to change our thinking, So pay attention to all these things. For everybody who is in recovery, don't let disease jam you up because as we fight it, it's fighting us back. You understand? Because it does not want you to survive. It wants you to die.
That's right.
And it will come through people, places, and things. So just because you stop using don't mean you well. You understand what I'm saying? And you have to always know that. This is why part of the tradition tells us once you're an addict or an alcoholic, you will always be. Because this thing only goes in remission.
Yep.
Okay? But we have to live the life. Fred, I had a good time.
Me too.
I always do.
Thank
I still
you.
got some chills right now.
Yeah.
You hear what I'm saying? We get to sip of this daggone water.
Yeah.
Y'all remember my bugs?
Yeah.
Thank everybody who came on. I'm very much so happy that you came on
Thank
here.
you.
And I enjoyed every
Oh, thank
minute
you
of
so
it.
much.
I
Thank
will
you.
be staying in touch with
Please
you,
do.
and any ideas of anything that you can help me with. You know what I'm saying? And help these people with.
Will do.
Like, let's pay them more attention. You know what I mean? Let's try to do something. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to start something to become something.
That's right.
To help these people. You follow what I'm saying? As myself. Because I know today, God gave me this walk. You know what I mean? And I could talk the talk,
That's
because
right.
I live the walk. But it has become more dangerous, more vicious today. And I thank God that I don't drink or drug or have to be out there hanging all out and all that stuff because it's dangerous anymore. Shit, you can't even walk out your door. People, with these drugs and getting all crazy. You hitting and running with people. You know what I mean? Running into people's houses with your car. You know what I mean? Shooting at people. And all this kind of stuff. But I'm gonna let y'all go because y'all know I can go on and on and on to the break of dawn. And this is about the time that we usually end. But when it's hot, we just keep moving on. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Oh,
and to all of
that's
you out
so
there,
very
thank
welcome.
you guys for tuning
Y'all,
in.
let's give Fred these hearts. I'm gonna have to pick this phone up.
Yeah.
Let's give Fred these hearts because he deserves every
thank
freaking
you.
bit of it. Let's have a heart party, y'all. So he see what I do. You see what I do, Fred? I was on the road. You see what? I just I'll be right back on because that's the one I'm concerned about.
That's
Let's
right.
give Fred all this love, y'all. And I appreciate that he has come on here and he has given up some good information, you know what I mean, and show his love and concern in this situation. You see this power they're giving
Yep,
you?
that's
You
right.
see all this power? You
Thank
see it
you,
better
guys.
on this
Thank you
phone.
so
Look at
much.
that. I am so happy for all of you that came on and showed up tonight. You know what I'm saying? And when Fred ain't on here and I ain't got no speaker, show up like this every Wednesday.
That's right.
You hear what I'm saying? Because I got something for you.
That's
You
right.
follow? You know how we do. We wait till somebody come on. Oh, I want to know what they gonna say. Oh, what's gonna happen? What they gonna talk about? Well, look, come on, because I'm gonna start popping up more than Wednesdays. Like next Monday, I got a pop up that's coming on. You're gonna be surprised who it is, but it's Testimony Monday. It's gonna be the bomb. So y'all make sure y'all look out for the flyers, you know, and holler. Look at that, you getting it all. You hear what I'm saying? You know, yeah, this was awesome. I enjoyed every minute of it, and this is all the thank you to you from everybody who's on here. You guys, you know, don't forget, I can use any help. I can use anybody who wants to be a part of this with me. You know what I mean? Because I need a team. You follow what I'm saying? This is a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and I need a team. I can't even work the technology.
Yeah.
But I still work it.
That's right.
And I still show up. You know, and I show up loud. Because I'm going to get louder and louder. Y'all hear what I'm saying? We got to get loud about this thing. Look at that. They loving you. Loving you.
And I love y'all too.
They
I love
you,
y'all.
baby. They loving you. They tearing this thing up. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all showing we loving to be on this couch. Absolutely. Thank you so much, everybody. Stacy Love said, yes, I'm praying. But their price from my addiction, I had a, what does that say? Quadruple bypass surgery in 2021. But God,
to God be the glory.
Absolutely. Oh, but God, I don't miss the drugs or the alcohol. To God be the glory.
That's
absolutely. Right. Hallelujah, Stace. Stace was one that was one of my honorees last year. She put her thing down.
Yeah.
When she came on this couch and shared her strengths and hope. Patrice was one of my honorees as well. Thank you, Tree's little cousin. Love you, love you, love you. You know, everybody who's on here. Tracy, Dr. Tracy Townsend, love you. She's coming soon, y'all. Teresa, you know, you my girl every time. You are always here. You know, Stacy Love, Roz, thank you for being on, baby. That's my girl, too. She had a lot to do with me getting started. Bev, what's up, Bev? You know, we're going to do that addiction on buying shoes, pocketbooks, clothing, whatever you got the addiction with. We getting ready to sit down and do that. Hey, KD, I love you too. She's another one that I want on the couch. You know, she has her thing going on. She has a book out, you know, on mental health grieving. You know what I'm saying? KD said they don't understand until they are in it or have someone deep and can't come out. Absolutely, girl. That's a beautiful statement. I'm sorry I didn't catch a lot of y'all statements. Y'all know I get hyped. Hey, daughter-in-law, Anya, Mary Almond, that's my girl. She's always on here. Actually, she was just on the couch, you know. Thank everybody for being on. Pam, I hope that you and I can get together. I really do, you know, because that will be big. That would be really big, and it definitely will be appreciated by the people. You know, so y'all, we get ready to go off here because Fred got things to do. If I could keep him here, you know I would. But it's an hour, and an hour is an hour.
Thank you.
Right,
God bless you all. Good night.
God
bless you. I love you guys.
Thank
Take
y'all.
care.
Yes. Thank you so much. And matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take it out with my song. Hold on. Oh, I done lost that too, y'all. I was going to take it out with the song. Thank you, but I do have to say the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Love you.